Chairman Gensler, your record of failures to protect investors and abuses of power make it clear that we need to restructure the Securities and Exchange Commission. The failures are many, but let me cite some of the abuses. You average more than 2 rules proposals a month. You provide inappropriately short comment periods. You have unworkable and unlawful ESG disclosure mandates on the market. You have essentially a Hotel California rule for crypto where you can check in anytime you like, but you can never leave. You have endless discovery with no resolution and no clarity for the captives in the market. You have unworkable proposals for overhauling equity market structure, a de facto ban on crypto through proposed custody rule. You have high staff turnover, unhappy people leaving your office, and unhappy companies and capital leaving our country. To correct a long series of abuses, I'm introducing legislation that removes the chairman of the Securities and Exchange Commission.
If you want to be crypto savvy,
yes, Gary Gensler, finally on the hot seat where he firmly deserves to be. Welcome back to Be Crypto Savvy, everybody. Thank you, and I appreciate you jumping back in with us today. Yeah, you heard that right. Gary Gensler is finally being held accountable. Listen, we've talked about this before. This guy is not doing his job. His main objective is to protect retail investors and keep them safe. And listen, he simply is not doing his job. I don't know what his ulterior motive is or where his direction is coming from. However, it has been clear for a while that Gary Gensler is not doing his job. So that is very awesome to see. We'll have a little bit more on what went down yesterday with Gary Gensler getting grilled. But first, let's move on to COINBASE. Could quit the U.S., says CEO, as SEC doubles down on crypto scrutiny. Which, listen, this would be big. This would be huge if Coinbase were to leave. The United States is already driving away all the other crypto companies that they can. I mean, it's really devastating how the U.S. has handled cryptocurrency, in my opinion, thus far. That doesn't mean that there's not time to reverse action, reverse course, and come at this another direction. We'll have to see if the United States is smart enough to do that as a whole. At an event in London, Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong said the crypto asset exchange could leave the U.S. if the regulatory climate does not improve. Meanwhile, Republican members of Congress heavily criticized the SEC and Chairman Gensler's crypto stance in a letter and during a congressional hearing. Gensler declined to say whether Ether was a commodity or a security. And speaking of Gary Gensler not being able to define Ethereum as either a commodity or a security, this is a little bit longer of a video. However, dealing with what we're dealing with, I do think is highly important. So I do want to play this whole clip. So let's go ahead and watch this.
Thank you, Chair Gensler. I'll now recognize myself for 5 minutes. Ether is one of the most popular digital assets and powers the Ethereum blockchain. Back in 2018, then SEC Corporation Finance Director Bill Hinman stated that he believed Ether was not a security. Last month, CFTC Chair Benham expressed his view that Ether is a commodity. The State Attorney General of New York asserted in a court filing last month that Ether is a security. Clearly, an asset cannot be both a commodity and a security. Do you agree?
Actually, all securities are commodity under the Commodity and Exchange Act. It's that we are excluded commodities, but I would agree that a security cannot be also an excluded commodity and an included commodity. I'm sorry, Chair, just to talk about the Commodity Exchange Act more precisely.
Okay, so do you recognize, how would you categorize Ether then?
Look, I think that the general sweep of what Congress did, not just in the 30s, but as amended.
I'm asking you, sitting in your chair now, to make an assessment under the laws as exist. Is Ether a commodity or a security?
Without speaking to anyone.
I know you've repeatedly said you're not going to speak to one, except you've spoken to one, Bitcoin. So I'm asking you to speak to a second one, the second largest market cap here.
And speaking to the tokens, there's 10 to 12,000. If there's a group of entrepreneurs in the
I'm asking
middle
about
that the
one.
public is anticipating a profit based on the.
I'm asking you a specific question, Chair Gensler. I said this in private. This should be no shock to you. I'm asking this question. Is Ether a commodity or security?
And again, it depends on the facts and the law. And if there's a group of individuals.
I'm asking you about the facts and the
middle,
law sitting in your seat and the judgment you are making.
And so, Mr. Chair, I think you would not want me to prejudge because I'm also.
But you have prejudged on this. You've taken 50 enforcement actions. We're finding out as we go, as you file suit, as people get Wells notices on what is a security in your view, in your agency's view. I'm asking you a very simple question about the second largest digital asset. What is your view?
And my view is if there's a group of individuals in the middle that the public is.
All right. So let me just ask a second question then. Do you think it serves the market for an object to be viewed by the commodities regulator as a commodity and the securities regulator to be viewed as a security? Do you think that provides safety and soundness for the product? Do you think it provides consumer protection? Do you think it serves the value of innovation? I think no should be a very simple answer for you here.
I think
that uncertainty is bad, is it not?
And I think that Congress has said that there's one agency, the Securities and Exchange Commission, under this committee.
And you won't answer my question, and you're the head of that agency. So give me a break. Come on.
I'm answering it in the generic because you would not want me to speak about any one set of facts and circumstance.
Okay, so, but you've already spoken. Have you said anything about Bitcoin?
My predecessors and the agency itself has spoken to them.
Okay, but you're not willing to do the same about Ether. Okay, so let me just step back. There's a lack of clarity here in the marketplace. Can you at least agree to that?
I think that the clarity is there. The law is clear.
All right.
There's a group
so
of individuals
let me be explicit about this. The market doesn't see it. Your regulatory actions and the CFTC's regulatory actions say that there's a great deal of uncertainty here. It is the intention of this committee to fix that uncertainty and actually provide a sound legal basis for this.
Oh, Gary boy ain't looking too hot right now. So this meeting at the House of Representatives and, grilling Gary Gensler over the SEC's inability to protect the retail investors, that came just days after this news broke. SEC goes after Bittrex in new enforcement action. It says Algorand and 5 crypto assets are securities. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission has charged crypto exchange Bittrex and its co-founder and former CEO William Shihara with operating an unregistered national securities exchange, broker, and clearing agency. The SEC also charged Bittrex Global, Bittrex foreign affiliate. The SEC charges that Amis, Algorand, Dash, Token Card, iHouse Token, and Naga are all securities in its complaint. Today's action yet again makes plain that the crypto market suffers from a lack of regulatory compliance, not a lack of regulatory clarity. As alleged in our complaint, Bittrex and issuers that it worked and knew the rules that applied to them, but went to great lengths to evade them by directing issuer applicants to scrub offering materials of information indicating that certain crypto assets were securities. Further, Bittrex, as alleged, failed to register and comply with the U.S. securities laws as an exchange, broker-dealer, and clearing agency. Cosmetic alterations did nothing to change the underlying economic realities of the offerings and Bittrex conduct. Today, we're holding Bittrex accountable for its non-compliance. And jumping over to the Genie range report, we can look over in the news and events at some other topics. Trezor Wallet enables Bitcoin privacy feature with CoinJoin. Forget Bitcoin price, the Bitcoin mining boom is quietly going parabolic. First Mover America's Bitcoin slides towards 29,000. Bitcoin should be central to regulation of digital assets. Intel ends its Bitcoin mining chip series, and obviously quite a bit more. If you are not familiar with what the Genie range report is, I will link a video in the top right corner for you. That video enables you to learn everything you need to know about this report, which is a price predicting report that covers Bitcoin and Ethereum, and very soon the team over at Genie.io are adding in several more top tier coins and exchange rating, more indicators added to this report, as well as making this more of a fast twitch report, allowing this to update every 6 hours instead of every 24 hours. So if you happen to be interested in an artificial intelligence and machine learning driven report that predicts the price of Bitcoin and Ethereum, the link is in the description. Help yourself, and we'll catch you folks on the next video. We'll see you then.
Like, comment, and subscribe, yeah.